What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of maintenance on my monster truck. Right now it's still in the trailer. I'm getting ready to pull it out of the trailer. So let me talk about real quick what we're going to be doing in this video. So my truck is still in here in the trailer. It's been in here for about a week now. This shock shaft right here has a slight bow to it. So if I pick the chassis up with the jack, let it back down on its own weight, the chassis will actually still set up on that bowed shock shaft. It doesn't want to let it cycle properly. So we'll pull the truck out of the trailer, get the shock off, start getting it changed, and I just want to do that little bit of maintenance on it. This is your coil bump right here. Here's a rubber bump stop in here. And we have these coil bumps on each shock. They actually help when you're hitting the jump, not so much the landing. When you're hitting the jump at ride height, the suspension ride height, it kind of hits these instead of bottoming out, and it really takes a little bit of jolt out. This tool cart has been on the team for over 10 years now. This thing has been through a lot. And this vinyl wrap on here, shout out to Full Throttle Graphics. These are old Overkill Evolution wraps. This is the old design, and we had a bunch of it left over, so one night he took all the old stuff and wrapped up the tool cart. He did a great job on it. Little shot of petrol. If this thing starts. Feeling healthy today. This is what we call a jack bar. This is what we put in the rear receiver right here, just like this. We put it in there and we take the jack. So when we're setting shocks, what we do with this is pick the ride height up to where we want it. We measure the shock shaft or where it looks good or where you want it. So that's what we use this for. So this is the shock shaft that we're looking at right here. I'm going to go ahead and jack it up. So now I'll jack it up. Now I can tell it's bowed because when I go to set it back down, letting it back down, and it should squat down even more, but it's not dropping any more on ride height because that bow is right about there. So what it does, it binds in between the piston and in here in the shock cap right here. So I have to pull it out first, because if I took the shock off and then tried to pull it out by hand, I wouldn't be able to get it out by hand because of that bow in the shock shaft. Getting it already pulled out, now I can unscrew the shock cap and be able to pull the shock shaft and piston out of the body. So this is a bottom feed accumulated shock, and this is a top feed accumulated shock. Also on the top feed, we have these adjuster knobs back here. If you can see them back there, you turn them in or out and it makes the truck stiffer or softer. We have these accumulator and body braces right here, so it keeps everything in line when the truck's running hard, keeps the accumulators back, tucked back a little bit. We have to take these off. Then we have a bolt bottom and top that we have to take off. Let's go ahead and pull all the nitrogen out of this shock. Out of the there. And we're free. We're free. Oh, come on. Oh! There it is. Got it. That was easy. Put it up here on the workbench. Woo! I don't know how much that thing is. I guess probably 80 pounds. Guessing 80, guys. Okay, so I have the vise set into the workbench here. I use this wide part of the runner for my workbench when I do shocks. It's just nice, open and clean. And I have the shock here. Here's my spare shock shaft I'm going to use. This is nice and straight. I checked it. This one has a slight bow to it. I don't know if you can really tell on camera. It kind of bows off to the left there. That way. So let's go ahead and get this tore apart. We got the tools right here. We got this wrench that has this little knob in here that grabs this right here. It takes the accumulator cap off. And this wrench right here slides down over the shaft and grabs right here and takes the shock body cap off. I use this piece of material to cover the vise, and I will set the shock down in there and then tighten it up, and we start taking it apart. Thing's not going anywhere. We'll get our big old futuristic space looking wrench here. This is the accumulator cap. You can see in the center of the puck right there in the accumulator there's a hole. That's a threaded hole. So we're going to take this T-bar right here and we're going to thread it into that puck. Now I have my T-bar threaded into my accumulator puck. Now what we're going to do is pull the vise and the shock and everything out and rotate it 90 degrees. Oh yeah! Lightweight! Lightweight! There we go. Easy peasy. Alright, I'm going to take this different wrench now. Looks like this. Put it down over the shock shaft. Goes like that. Wasn't too terribly tight. Could have been a little snugger. Alright, got it about there. Now she's leaking. I'm going to take these Safety Clean sponsored pig mats to catch all your droppings. Oh my. That is your piston. I'm going to take this off and I'll go over these shock shims with you guys, talk about those. Okay, so now we're going to take the piston off of the shock shaft. It's just held on with one bolt right here, a 7/16 bolt. So a 5/8 socket on a 1/2 inch drive impact. These are your compression shims. So you stack different shims in there. They're kind of like washers and the fluid pushes against those and they actually bend. So the pressure of the fluid bends those, make different shim packages, and you can do different spring rates basically with your shock fluid. These are your rebound shims right here. So these control how much fluid goes through, letting the shock drop back down. So when you jump, it wants to pull the shock shaft out of the shock, and then the fluid goes against your rebound shims right here. So this is my shock shim pack. Top secret stuff right here, can't really tell you anymore. So also when I take this apart, what I want to look for in here is to see if this O-ring's still good. Sometimes these O-rings can get a little torn or something in them and the shock can start leaking. So this O-ring looks okay in here, not too bad. I like it, I like it. This cap set on this shaft, like a wee bit of Loctite, put it right there on my bolt. Oh my goodness, that was way too much. Oh, this stuff's expensive too, we can't waste this. Beauty. That's tight. Now what we're going to do is get this set back down into the shock body. So I already went ahead and got my puck height set. It's 9 inches. Into here is the puck. So I already set that. Easy does it. Perfect. Just like that. Easy does it. I'm going to be very careful with this aluminum thread on this cap. If you cross thread that a little bit, it can ruin your day, buddy. Give her a bit of a snug. Perfect. Then set this thing horizontal. Yeah, don't need this anymore. Ta-da! Okay, so I measured 9 inches to that puck right there to the start of this thread in here. So the cap is an internal thread, so you measure to where the thread ends or starts right there. Oh, perfect. Oh, yeah. There she is. Cycles perfectly. I got it. Fitting is hooked up to the accumulator. Now all I have to do is turn this valve and start charging it. And it is charged. Now I'll take this 3/4 inch wrench and I'll close this valve. Ta-da! Alright guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Drop a comment if you like this type of content. Let me know what content you guys want to see. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Share, like, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.